This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and together we are your KTAR car guys, heard here every Saturday from 11 to noon at Bumper to Bumper Radio. We are helping you, the motoring public, and I'm part of the motoring public, have a better overall car experience. So if you got car questions, we've got car answers. So we encourage you to give us a call at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. You can also text us at 411-923. And today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, we are going to save you $30,000 on automotive expense. Stick around. We'll show you how to do that later on in the show. Of course, open phones and text. And how do you budget for car expense on the 200,000-mile car? You know, when I was growing up, or probably even before I was growing up, we got Kerry sitting here.
Have you grown up, Dave?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
we got Kerry sitting here, and by 75,000 miles, his parents were looking for a new car. I said, they didn't even have oil filters back there, man. So, sorry, Kerry. But cars have changed at 100,000 miles. A car was totally worn out back in the day, but honestly, modern car is at least good for 200,000 miles if you take care of it. I mean, I've seen 100,000-mile jalopies because people don't take care of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got to set this in motion early on. When you get this car, is how you make it to 200,000 miles is how you treat it in the early years.
Well, the biggest problem that I see that people do is they'll have a repair at let's say their car's got 90,000 miles on it, and they're like, oh man, this car's falling apart. You know, I got to go get a new car, and they'll be staring at a $500 repair, and they'll go fix a $500 repair with $30,000 on a new vehicle, and I think it's because the expectation wasn't there about what happens with a car. So let's go from A to Z on what it's going to cost you to keep a car for 200,000 miles.
All right, let's go. So we're talking about your normal, everyday, average, I'm going to call it your popular import or domestic car. This is your Honda Accord, your Toyota Camry,
Chevy Malibu,
your RAV4, your Malibu, your Fusion, whatever it is. We're going to dabble into some of the Audis and Volkswagens and Mercedes. They a lot of times they fit into this category. The number is just a little bit bigger, but we're talking about the cars that you look around the stoplight, and that's most of them.
So let's take year one. You're going to drive, the average Arizonian drives this car 15,000 miles a year. So year one, you buy the car with 10 miles on it.
Let's back up 1 second, though. So we've got this car. It's brand new. What's our car payment?
Our car payment is going to be probably $500.
$500 a month on a $35,000 car. Okay.
$500 a month on a 5-year loan. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So it's got 10 miles on it. It smells really good. The payment book hasn't showed up yet, but I know it's coming later on in the month. But when it gets there, it won't be as much fun. But that first year, I'm going to get 3 oil changes. That's an oil change every 5,000 miles. I'm going to get 1 cabin filter. That's the filter that keeps the air clean in the car. 1 air filter. That's the air that the engine ingests. And I'm going to probably throw a tire balance on the car. If I add that up with just average prices, I'm at $290. That's $24 a month, year one, to take care of that car.
So that's year one. Year two now looks a lot like year one. We're going to get 3 more oil changes, 1 every 5,000 miles. Somewhere towards the end of year two, we're going to get a cabin air filter probably. We're doing those once a year. Probably going to need an engine air filter in our dusty conditions that we have. Rotate and balance the tires. Maybe a set of wiper blades in there, you think, Dave?
I think a set of wiper blades. So now instead of $290, we're at $340 a year, which breaks down to $28 a month. So plus our $500 car payment that we've got going on.
Mm-hmm.
So year 3, we're going to be taking it from 30,000 miles up to 45,000 miles. That's the mileage span. I know I'm going to get 3 oil changes. I know I'm going to get that cabin filter. I know I'm going to get that air filter. Year 3, up to 45,000 miles, there's pretty good odds that I'm going to get a set of front brakes. That's going to be most vehicles. I mean, there's some vehicles that aren't going to need them.
Used to say we do brakes maybe 27 to 35,000 miles. I think they're lasting a little bit longer. So, yeah.
So year 3, we're doing brakes. You know what? We're going to need tires.
Probably.
This is an average car. We're gonna throw $600 in there for tires. It's time to service that transmission, so we're gonna do $250 for that. We're gonna need a wheel alignment.
$100.
And I'm gonna throw in another $100 of just miscellaneous stuff. Plus, we're gonna need an Interstate battery. $150 for an Interstate battery.
Year 3, but Dave, what are we factored in for oil changes? Like $40 to $50 average is an oil change. We're not cheap Charlie. We're not going for the most expensive. Good quality service. Okay.
Yeah, $50 on a service by tax and all the other things that goes in there, waste disposal fee. So year 3, we've gone up to about $1,500 in regular maintenance. A battery is, believe it or not, every 3 years is maintenance. I mean, that's something you need every 3 years.
I mean, you might get lucky and catch that battery under your 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. This is also the year where that car is going to come out of warranty. That's no big deal, though. The car is going to go to 336, no problem. We're going to have some little stuff. Maybe we want to clean the fuel injection system. Maybe you're going to have a headlight bulb burnout or a taillight. That's no big deal. So what do you got for the math there on year 3, Dave?
So year 3, you got a budget $127 a month, but we want to throw that in with our $500 car payment. So that car right now, and we're not talking insurance and all those other things that go along with it, but it's still a $500 car payment.
So if you're doing the Dave Ramsey deal, you've got an envelope that's labeled car maintenance, and you're throwing $127. You got it stashed in the closet or in the safe or somewhere at home or in that separate account, right?
That separate account. So let's go on to year 4. So now we're going to go, year 3 we went up to 45,000 miles, but year 4 we're going to go from 45,000 to 60,000 miles. Those oil changes are still there. They never change. 3 oil changes, 1 cabin filter, 1 air filter. You know what? We got front brakes last year. This year it's time for rear brakes. We're going to throw $300 in there for that. Maybe balance the tires, the new tires we got the last year. Probably a good idea to service the coolant and, again, a set of wiper blades for monsoon season. So in year number 4, now we're, $750, $800. So let's call that $65 a month that you got to throw in the envelope.
Yeah, and now year 4, we're talking about some things. Dave, we have experience with these cars getting up into these 100,000 miles, and a lot of the manufacturers talking about things that are going to make it a lot longer. And some people might say, a cooling system service, my manual says I can make to 100,000. But the goal is to not make this car make it to 100,000. We want a 200,000-mile car. So we're going to tighten up a little of these little maintenance things on areas where we know this Arizona heat beats them up. So you're driving that 4-year-old car now. We got to think about getting outside the manual just a little bit, but we're budgeting for this. That's the key.
And outside the manual in the other direction, too, because on some of these Hondas, they got a little asterisk in the timing belt at 60,000 miles, which is way too early in my estimation.
We can talk about that.
So we'll talk about that later. So that's your 4th year. So we went from spending $25 a year to $35 a year. Now we're up to $65 a month that we're budgeting. We're sticking that in the envelope.
During that year. Yeah, it was a little more the prior year. So now year 5, 60,000 to 75,000 miles. A couple things are going to happen in year 5. We're still going to get those oil changes. We're still getting a cabin air filter. Maybe a battery. I've got that on my list here, Dave. It's probably still under warranty if you got that good one.
Right? Still covered by Interstate. You bet.
Maybe we're going to get a belt. Serpentine belt might be worn out by now. So now we've made it to the end of 75,000 miles. Guess what just happened? You just paid off the car. Your 5-year loan is done. Woo! Now you got $500 a month to go party with, right?
Well, and I think I threw a fuel service in there also. So you might be spending, on average, $80 a month. You budget $80 a month to take care of your car. That's your expense. So car payment's done. Don't go spending that money just yet. So what we're coming into year 6.
But so what do we want to do with that car payment, Dave? I mean, now we're at 75,000 miles. We want to get this car to 200 or 150. That's what the goal is. So let's think about saving half that car payment, because we're going to get to some stuff in year 7 that we'll talk about, and you're going to need some money for that.
So put that money away. So for 6 months, go ahead and take that $500 a month and just throw it in a different envelope in a different copy can on a different side of the yard for year 7 and taking care of this car. So that's year 5 goes up to 75,000 miles. Still in this car, really at 75,000 miles, a modern car, nothing is even broken. I mean, maybe a window regulator or something like that, but I don't foresee anything breaking up through year 5. Nothing really there. So here we come in year 6, all right? We still got to do oil changes. We still got to do cabin filters, air filters. We're back to needing the front brakes again, and it's time for the second set of tires. So the thing I did differently with year 6 is I threw in a $500 event, because that may be something like, oh, the alternator went bad.
Something's going to happen. Maybe that window regulator.
Window regulator went bad. Alternator went bad. That happened. So in year 6, I'm up with that $500 event. Really in the maintenance type stuff and the normal stuff, we're at $1,400 with a set of tires, but we throw in the $500 event. So you're going to spend $2,000 that year keeping that thing, private ownership. We're taking good care of that car.
I mean, you take this year 6 car now, kind of following these rough guidelines. You have got a nice 6-year-old car. It's not like that other pile of junk, sitting at the stoplight that they haven't taken care of. They haven't got it into their shop 3 times a year for this maintenance. You have got a good, solid car.
So now we're going to be coming up, and when we come back, we're going to talk about year 7, because year 7 is when everyone thinks, oh, no, the car's taking a bunch of money. I got to go get a new car. And, man, you just paid that baby off. Let's get the money of that sucker. Let's ring that thing out to 200,000 miles. And you know what? We got more money in our wallet and less stress in our life. So when we come back, we're taking your phone calls at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. You can also text us at 411-923. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys, on Bumper to Bumper Radio. Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
All right, good morning and welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Matt Allen along with my good friend Dave Riccio, and we are talking about that new car. Well, Dave, doesn't have to be a new car. There's a lot of people out there driving 3-year-old or 4-year-old cars right now. It's not too late to get on this maintenance program that we're talking about. And really what we're talking about is budgeting to get this car to 150 or 200,000 miles and enjoy it the whole time. So we're here every Saturday to help you with your car. You can get involved and get on the show at 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. And if you'd like to participate by text, you can do that at 411-923. So we've been talking about getting this new car and keeping it for a long time and keeping it going, and more importantly what the budget is, what you're going to have to do each year, those oil changes, the cabin air filter. And we've gone through year 1, which is very easy. Year 2, a lot of the same thing, set of tires and some minor services in year 3 or 4. We just got the car paid off in year 5. We made it through year 6 with maybe we had an alternator or a window regulator go, but that's okay because we budgeted for that. We had a plan. Year 7. This is year 7 when we get into that. What are we at, Dave? We're at 90,000 plus miles on the car.
90,000 to 105,000 miles, and this is where people get kind of strange when the car does need a repair. You know, it needs a $500 repair. And let's say it needs engine mounts, because that's something common to happen in that. A set of engine mounts for a car is $1,200. That's not that unusual, but they say, well, a car hasn't needed anything up until now, man. The thing now it's falling apart. I got to go get another car. Well, you take a $1,200 problem, and you're going to go fix it with $30,000 to $35,000.
No good.
Which is $500 a month still, plus your budgeted money to keep that one going.
Well, and you say they get a little, what did you say, a little weird about it, a little strange about the repair, or a little squirmish, maybe?
Well, the expectation should be there that it's going to happen.
Well, yeah, and the reason that they have that feeling, it's an emotional feeling because they haven't planned, and they don't know what they've done to their car. They're not, I guess what I'm saying is, they're not walking into that shop with confidence going, hey, I did all this stuff that I was supposed to do for these 5 years. I've got a plan. I've never been in trouble with my car because I've always budgeted for what I need. And so they can walk into that shop with confidence in year 7 at 90, going into that 90, and you're going to crest over 105,000 miles that year. But that customer that comes in, they're confident because they've taken care of that car, and they're expecting to have something, and they're not freaking out at the counter. They're like, okay, I got this.
They're not losing sleep. They built in for it. Well, let's take year 7 because you're still going to need oil changes. You're still going to need a cabin filter and air filter. You are going to need those engine mounts. And you know what? You're going to keep this car for 200,000 miles. I'm going to put a big chunk of change on there, $2,000 on a set of struts and a timing belt. We're going to spend $4,600 on this car in year 7.
But you know what? We were smart because when the year we paid off that car, instead of having that $500 a month car payment, we did something. Whatever your math is, maybe you did $250. You went out and partied or did whatever you did with that money, and you put this.
Smoked it.
You put that $250. That's a lot. You put that $250 aside for the whole year or all of it for 6 months. So you've built up your war chest to take care of that car, because not only do we want to keep this car running, Dave, you said struts. Well, why do you want struts? We want to enjoy this car for the rest of the time too.
And we want to be able to keep tires on the thing, and we want it to be safe. So year 7, if people aren't expecting it, this is where they cry uncle, and they go fix,
They make a bad decision.
They make a bad decision, yeah. And they're, when the payment book shows up again and the car doesn't smell new anymore, they're like, oh man, maybe I should just fix that old car. So if you bought a good car, and you want to take care of it, don't let year 7 fool you, because you're going to spend that money. But you know what you got? You've got the next 5 years to have a car that's going to cost you, $100 a month to keep going, not $500 plus $100.
It's kind of like we've said it before, and we were talking about it before the show, Dave. You rebuy your car in year 7. You've got it, but it's okay. The best used car to buy is yours. Yeah. You've taken care of it. Look at all that's done. You've got all your records. The shop that you've been going to has got everything on file. You know what? Guess what? You freak out at 105,000 miles because you haven't taken care of the car and it needs something. Guess what now? You're going to go buy that new car. Bad choice. But you're going to get hosed on your trade-in because you haven't taken care of your used car. When you go trade in a broken car, you get less for it. So, so think about that. And then you've got, so maybe I'm driving a Chevy truck or a Tahoe or a Suburban. I don't need a timing belt. But all these cars have their thing that they need around 105, 110, 100, whatever that mileage is.
Well,
right?
In our third segment, I'm going to teach you about the 7-year itch with your car. So we'll talk about the 7-year itch and how to get through the 7-year itch and keep going with it. But we got to get to the phones. We've got Jason, Julie, Oliver, Robert, and James. And it looks like we're going with Jason and Chandler. He's got a 1966, I think that says, Chevy Impala. How can we help you, Jason? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hello.
Yo, Jason, go for it. What do you have for us?
I got a 66 Impala, and I'm having problems with the charging system. The car's been redone. We pulled the motor out, put it in a few shows. It's a nice car, but it will not stay charged. I replaced batteries on it. I put a bigger alternator. I've redone. I'm an electrician. I put bigger gauge wires on down to the starter, and actually put another wire from the negative terminal to the chassis, as well as the one that goes to the engine block, and the negative side of the battery gets so hot it almost melts the wire. Will not stay charged.
Is it when it's up and running? Is that alternator charging? Or are you getting 14 volts out of it? 14 and a half?
Yeah, well, I think it was close to 13, and my buddy told me if I take the positive out while it's running, that if the alternator is bad, the car would die.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's kind of that's not scientific. That may in some instances work, but is this battery dying? I mean, you're going out cruising. I bet maybe you're going to the cruise on Central today. But when you're going out and driving around, does it discharge while you're driving, or does it discharge after the second day of sitting in the garage?
No, it will discharge while I'm driving. The radio will start to cut out. Lights will get dim. The car might even die at the stoplight, and it won't want to start. But I'll take it home, put on a battery charger, and disconnect the battery, and when I reconnect it, the car will start right up, has a new starter. I mean, it works good. But I was thinking, is it possible that it has a wrong size regulator in there?
I mean, there's all kinds of things that can be happening, Jason, and this is one of those things where that is such a simple system. It's going to be something so dumb that you end up you smack yourself in the face going, I can't believe that was it. I had a car one time, one of my first little hot rods, I took the speedometer out. Well, that's where the charging light was. I put a tachometer there instead. Now all of a sudden the battery's not charging, the alternator's not working. It was just simply that alternator light is what completed the circuit to make that battery charge right. So something simple, but ADS is a shop and channel where that works on all kinds of those old hot rods. You might give them a shot.
He mentioned, the old trick, checking the alternator in the driveway is to pull off a battery cable while the car's running. If the car dies, the alternator's bad. That's not a good idea on the modern car. You might be, arcing and sparking, and you can't, once the smoke comes out of the wires, you can't get it back in, or once the smoke comes out of the module. So when we come back, we've got Julie, Oliver, Robert, and James. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR Car Guys on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Mac and Gatos.
After the shooting up in Flagstaff, should NAU change its gun policies?
We'll talk about that after the All Arizona Daily Download. The top 5 local stories of the day. That's Monday at 2.
KTAR News on 92.3 FM and KTAR.com.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family-owned and operated and bumper-to-bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with my friend Matt Allen, and together we are your KTAR Car Guys, here to help you with your car. You can get a hold of us at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. answering any of your questions, and specifically the theme today is budgeting for auto repair. And we've talking about it shouldn't be all exciting and dramatic when your car needs a few bucks to keep it going and to get it fixed and all that. As long as you plan and budget for it, that takes a lot of that out of there. The other thing too is you don't want to like get all this handled by a different pediatrician for your kid every time you take your car in. Get an oil change here, get an oil change over there, get an oil change here, alignment there. You know, this shop uses good parts, this shop uses sub-quality. You just get a hodgepodge of auto repair. And I don't want you to get a hodgepodge of auto repair. I want you to go to a shop and have a relationship with them. And if you don't have one of those guys in your life or gals in your life, go to bumpertobumperradio.com. There's a list of shops that you can, put your feet down, your roots down, and say, hey, you people are going to take care of my cars, and I expect it to be taken care of right. So it fits into all these expectations that we're talking about.
Nothing takes the emotion out of auto repair and takes the stress out like having a plan or a budget. When something goes haywire and you've done your due diligence, you're at the right place, and it goes wrong, okay, you go right to your envelope and you get the money. Or you go, you know what I mean? It doesn't make, what am I going to do?
Where did
no
I
problem.
bury? Well, if you forget where you buried that envelope with that coffee can.
Yeah, if you were doing what you were doing with the extra $250.
For sure. Well, up first this segment, let's get to Julie in Phoenix. Looks like she's got a 2007 Chevrolet Cobalt. How can we help you, Julie? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Great information, guys. And I'm taking notes, and I'm sitting in my car in a parking lot.
All right.
So the first thing, there's 4 recalls on this call already, and I went back to the dealer, and they got it fixed. And I'm just not happy with the car, but I'm not going to trade it in because it's paid off.
Sure.
So do I do a diagnostic test with the dealer and then take it to another guy to fix it because it's less money?
No. I don't think so. Is there something particularly wrong with the car, Julie?
No,
or do
no,
you...
I just haven't done good maintenance on it. I probably need a service transmission. I know they did the fuel injection 2 or 3 years ago, but the problem is I go hodgepodge from one place to another, and I don't have any records. Okay. So I have to start over.
Julie,
you're a hodgepodger.
Here's what I do at my shop, and here's what I would recommend for you. It's kind of like getting your annual health checkup. Go pick your new doctor. My shop, Virginia Auto Service, is in downtown Phoenix. I see you're in Phoenix. Might be a good fit for you. You're going to go in, and you're going to say, I want my car checked out. I want everything looked at, bumper to bumper, head to toe, whatever you want to call it. We're going to pull the tires off. We're going to check the brakes, the tires, the battery. We're going to inspect the belts. We're going to look at the condition of all the fluids, the lights, the wipers. I mean everything. Test the charging system, the battery. We're going to look at your maintenance records. We're going to pull out a spark plug. We're going to look at what's the odometer say? What's the condition of the car actually as it sits? What condition do we think it ought to be in? We're going to try and identify what maintenance you have missed, and we're going to compile all of that. Maybe we've got that so-called list that everybody talks about, but that's okay. You want to know everything. You don't want your shop to dribble information to you. We talked about that last week, Dave. They just tell you a little bit because they don't want to run you off or scare you away. It's like stepping on the scale. You got to look down and you got to see what the number is, and now you have a plan. And we're going to tell you, this is going to leave you on the side of the road. This is dangerous. Maybe these are things you need to do now. This is maintenance. It's no big deal, but you got to get the brakes done first, and we'll catch that on your next oil change or whatever the case is. And then maybe you're 20,000 miles away from 100,000 miles when you might need a large maintenance. We'll talk to you about starting to budget for that. So it's not a big deal. You don't need to go to the dealer, and it's not a diagnostic test that you need. I call it a comprehensive vehicle inspection. You want to know the good, the bad, the ugly, the all, and then come up with a plan.
Hey, thanks so much for the call, Julie. 602-277-5827. We're going to go with Oliver in Surprise on a 2013 Toyota Tundra. How can we help you, Oliver? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Just a couple of days ago, noticed that my gas pedal, when I would go to accelerate from a dead stop, right till it hits about 1,000 RPM, I'm getting a pretty strong vibration in the gas pedal, and never experienced anything like that with any other vehicle. Just wondering what you guys might think it could be.
Do you feel it in the truck or specifically in the gas pedal?
Specifically in the gas pedal.
Thicker shoes might help.
That's weird. How many miles are on this?
Just over 60.
That's drive-by-wire, right?
There's nothing connection. I mean, that's really a dimmer switch hooked to a gas pedal down there. And you say it vibrates, huh? Or is it through the motion? Maybe it feels ratchety.
That's what I was thinking, but I really started paying attention to it when I first noticed it. And even right now, it's almost a pulsating. When I go to accelerate, I'll push the gas pedal down just a little bit to give it some gas and keep it in one position. I don't continue to accelerate, and it's a pulsating type vibration.
That's weird.
It's strange. Over me, I'd be unbolting that gas pedal. There's not going to be a ton of work to it. I mean, unbolt it, and just run it through the motions and see if there's anything there. With the car off, it's not going to do anything. You can just run it through the motion and see if there's something glitchy going on there. But otherwise, unless the floorboard or the firewall, which that's attached to, is vibrating, I couldn't imagine just the gas pedal vibrating.
Yeah, seems strange to me. Try it with even before taking the thing apart. Try it with just the car off. Run the pedal through its stroke. But that's an odd one. I'd like a follow-up on that, huh, Dave? When it's fixed, maybe you can call in and let us know what you find.
For sure. Well, let's go with Robert in Phoenix. He's got a 2001 Nissan Quest. Hey, Robert, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, hey, I just put in a new water pump, all the hoses replaced, all brand new belts, and whenever I'm running a car and I turn it off, I'm still hearing a hissing sound, and I'm getting water from the seat hole right in the bottom of the water heater. Do you think my water heater is bad, the
heater core?
Heater core is bad, or what?
Are you running the air conditioning prior to shutting the car off when you're hearing that hissing noise?
Yeah, I always run the air conditioning.
Okay. Well, it depends. If the heater core is bad, you're typically going to get a little bit of a sweet smell in the car and some fog on the windshield if you're using the defroster. When it's humid out, you're going to get clear liquid. You're going to get condensation coming out of that heater or air conditioning drain tube. So I would first be looking for the color of the fluid that's dripping out before I jump to any conclusions there. Next time you shut the car off, shut the air conditioner off or don't use it. It's nice out today. You may not need the air conditioner. Leave it off. It may just simply be that your senses you're highly sensitive now if you've done these repairs and you're noticing things. It's very normal to hear some noise in the air conditioner. What's happening is it's equalizing. The pressure's equalized, and you might hear that happening underneath the dash, the high side to the low side. They're going to become the same after a minute or so. It may be nothing. So you may have two different things. You may have nothing. May have no problem at all, or you could have an issue. But I would think of first separating the two, and then look a little deeper there.
Thanks so much for the call, Robert. Let's go with James in Phoenix on a 2014 Ford Mustang. That's line 5, Matt. Line 5. All right.
Hello.
You to say. Hey, James.
Hello there. Honored to speak with you. So I just purchased this Mustang, and it has about 24,000 miles on it. And I was just curious as to how I should keep up with the maintenance on this, like you were saying, how I can get the best use out of my car. So where can I start from here on the maintenance?
James, you're in year 2 basically. You're 24,000 miles. Year 2, you're 15 to 30,000 miles is what you're going to hit, averaging 15,000 miles a year. So the first place I guess I would start is the owner's manual. That's the place where you're going to find the minimum requirements to keep that car operating as it's designed. So start there, and it's like we talked about if you're listening to the first part of the show. You're going to be doing 3 oil changes a year, cabin air filter, an engine air filter. The next year when you hit 30,000 miles, it's all that same stuff. Maybe a set of brakes, but find a shop now.
Yeah.
Don't go here for an oil change and coupon shop and end up at the next shop. And maybe don't go to the car wash that does the oil changes because they can't take care of everything for you. That's the other thing that's important is find someone that can do it all, that is full service. They've got the tools and the equipment to take care of their car, take care of that car for you, and then it's going to last. It kind of makes me think of this email. We're getting some more emails again lately and taking a harder look at them get an email from a guy, Tom. So Tom listens. He's got a 2006 Camry. Almost sounds like he's been on our program a little bit, Dave. 130,000 miles on the Camry. He likes not having a car payment. The car is immaculate. He's always done everything he wants to do to take care of it. But he wants modern amenities. I need the Bluetooth. I need the GPS, the navigation system. But he doesn't want to go get a new car. You know what that Camry probably costs now? He's got an 06. I know he paid a nice amount for that one. But in 2015 Camry loaded up, you're going to spend $40,000, I'm guessing, to get all that stuff. You can get around that. Well, that's the thing. We'll save you $30,000, right?
That's
Dave?
the 7-year itch. We're talking about the 7-year itch, and it's going to need some repairs during that time frame. But how do we get past the 7-year itch? Well, you know what? The best way to do it is what I did with my Honda Element, because I bought the thing and I realized, you know what? It doesn't have hands-free. It doesn't have a backup camera. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have that. So I went down to Sounds Good to Me. They're in Tempe, and they've been in Tempe for 30-plus years.
And
it's a car audio shop. And when you go in there, they've got all kinds of options for that, where you can get a stereo that has a backup camera. They can put a backup camera in that car. It's got the wireless, so you're hands-free when you're driving and talking.
Hey, isn't Tempe now? Didn't it get a lot to use a cell phone in the car? I think
it is. So
so
hands-free there. But, I listen to Pandora. I don't even listen to playlists or anything like that. I just stream it right into my stereo, and it makes the car cool. I enjoy driving the car, but I didn't take, in my case, I think I spent $500 on a stereo. But I didn't go fix a $500 problem with $40,000 on another Camry. You can get all that stuff, get past that 7-year itch. And you know what? You've had the car 7 years. Let's go throw a good detail on it. Let's get the car detailed. Let's start to love that car again. If you like the new car smell, go buy yourself some new floor mats down there at the XYZ Auto Parts store. Throw some new floor mats. It smells good.
How about a can of new car scent?
I don't think it smells like a new car at all. I don't care how much they name it a new car. It does not smell like a new car.
But that's a good way to solve that problem. You can get all these modern amenities. You can spend as little or as much money as you want. Go do an upgrade to your car at a shop like that, and you're done.
That car's got, like we're saying, it's a 200,000-mile car. And in his email he says, I'm the practical type. Well, I could have told you that because you bought a Toyota Camry. I find people that buy Camrys are just generally practical people. So let's not throw the car out. Let's go, get these amenities. Go down to Sounds Good. Dave and Mark there will take care of you, and you'll be happy with the car again. So when we come back, we've got Elaine, we've got Simon, we've got Paul, and we've got Andy. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys, on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Would you like to turn your mobile phone into a super accurate rangefinder? Just download one of our free mobile apps by going to freecaddy.com or search Free Caddy on iTunes or Google Play. Get accurate distances to the green, bunkers, and hazards, including detailed aerial views of all your favorite courses. Track long drives and personal scoring details using Free Caddy's Trends and Statistics feature. That's Free Caddy or Free Caddy Pro, the original golf GPS app for smartphones. Free Caddy, the best gimme in golf since the mulligan.
Are you looking for a refreshing change in customer service? I'm Lee Weatherby from Accurate Automotive. How about a refreshing change in your car repair relationship with honest, clear, and responsive service that looks out for your needs and not ours? For over 20 years, we've been delivering award-winning service provided by ASE-certified technicians with one goal, looking out for your best interest. If it needs fixing, we'll tell you. If it doesn't, you'll know that too. I guarantee that you will not get that business-as-usual treatment at Accurate Automotive. Foreign and domestic, cars, trucks, and even fleet service, Accurate can handle your job. I invite you to come in and experience a refreshing difference in car repair and maintenance. Stop by for a free courtesy inspection, a $49 value. We feel it is well worth our investment in you because we know that good long-term relationships start early with your first walk through our doors. I'm Lee Weatherby, and I'll be there to greet you. Accurate Automotive, home of friends serving friends, just off Broadway and Robeson in Mesa since 1992. For more information, check us out at AccurateAutomotiveAZ.com today.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and bumper-to-bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Matt Allen along with Dave Riccio, and today we've been talking about getting that car to 150,000 miles, doing it comfortably, doing it on a budget so you're not freaking out when things happen, right, Dave?
Nope.
And,
it's going to happen. Don't freak out.
We just finished up the last one with taking that older car that's in great shape and maybe getting it dolled up a little bit. Go get it the engine detailed, or not the engine detailed, get the whole car detailed. And if you want those modern, the Bluetooth, the backup camera, the navigation, you can solve that without having to buy a brand new car. That's the idea. You're making money on these cars if you're keeping them past 10 years and you've taken care of them. That's the key there. So we've got some calls here, and if we might be able to squeeze you in if you call it 602-277-5827, Dave. But I'll probably load us up and we'll be staying late. Who knows?
Let's go with Elaine in Phoenix. Looks like she's got a Volvo and an Acura. Elaine, you're driving two cars at once. That's not safe.
Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Yeah, the question is the timing belt. My son just bought a 2004 Acura TL with 58,000 miles, and I always hear stories about the timing belt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a 2006 Volvo XC70, and it has 102,000 miles.
Okay, and you have and same question for you.
Yeah, timing belt.
Okay. Elaine, this is Matt. Off the top of my head, first I'll talk to the Volvo real quick. Is the Volvo may not even have a timing belt. Some of those are chains, some of them are belts. So first we want to, they're switching them around on the cars lately, so we need to make sure we've got one before we think about changing it out. And the Volvos are one of the ones that they have kind of strange mileage intervals. We're seeing weird mileage, like 75,000 or even earlier on some cars. So the owner's manual is going to be the first thing. The Acura is along the lines of the Honda. That's one thing that kind of gets me twisted sometimes. People are really pushing them at 60,000 miles. And it says in extreme conditions you want to do your time belt at 60,000 miles. Well, the definition of extreme, I think off the top of my head, is with temp, is dusty is one of them, but dust doesn't wear out a timing belt. What wears out the timing belt prematurely in an extreme condition is temperature. And they say consistently over 110 degrees. Well, we're consistently over 110 degrees for 3 months. So in
those 3 months, it's only 5 hours a day.
Yeah. So I'm saying no on the 60,000 mile timing belt, but I'm saying that with an asterisk for you. If you've got a newer Honda or Acura or one of those cars that is talking to you like that, you come to my shop, you're not getting a timing belt on your car at 60,000 miles under those conditions. That will last. I'll put all kinds of money on it. It's going to make it to 105,000 miles if you're doing your normal 12 to 15,000 miles a year. However, I said with an asterisk for your Acura. That car's a 2004. It's 11 years old with 60,000 miles on it. He just bought it. I'd probably think about using this as an opportunity to hit the reset button on that car, do the timing belt, the tensioner, the idlers, the water pump, that whole timing belt component kit, and you know that one's now going to last you another 100,000 miles. They say 105. We honestly start looking at them around 90, but depending on what else is going on with the car, that's the window, 90, 105. You don't want to go past that. Only because of the age, I'm saying do that now. It's worth a very hard look, and especially since you just got the car.
Hey, Elaine, you're in Phoenix. If you're anywhere near Central Phoenix, you can go see Matt and his crew at Virginia Auto Service, completely capable of taking care of whether it's a Volvo, an Acura, or a BMW, anything like that. Matt, we don't have a lot of time, so we got to get to Simon in Santan and 04 Crown Victoria. How can we help you, Simon? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Okay, I have two quick questions for you. I have a howling sound almost like something is rubbing underneath the undercarriage, maybe the pipes or whatever. But it only happens when I come up from the pedal, off the pedal, so the RPMs change, or when I start the car. I can't seem to identify the sound on that. The second question I have for you is on my 2003 Crown Vic. I just had the transmission fixed, and it worked for about 2 days, and then all of a sudden now it won't go into overdrive and the high gears. So that's the...
Why did you have it serviced?
I had it serviced because the drivetrain broke and it snapped at the transmission.
Okay.
And so we had to replace the drivetrain, and the top of the transmission was replaced.
That's a lot of information there to try and digest. But the drivetrain, is he saying the drive shaft broke out of that car or something like that?
Well, that's the 2003. I mean, there's probably an event that occurred with the failure that is, the service just happened. A lot of times people service the transmission because they think it's going to fix something, and it doesn't. But something in the driveline failure probably caused or could have caused the problem you're having right now. I thought on that vibration thing we had that nailed. Then he threw in "or when I start the car." Then we both looked at each other.
The vibration thing, I was thinking about like diff bearings or driveline vibration, something like that. That's where I was going there, but just starting up the car. So I think we got multiple vibrations on that one. I don't think I could digest all that.
No, Paul, it's going to need to get in somewhere with the test drive and someone listening real good. So thanks for the call. Simon. Paul is up next. Paul with the Volkswagen. We're going to blow through these. So what's going on, Paul?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I have a 2010 Passat, and I have problems, and I come to a stoplight or a stop sign where the car will go into neutral. I'll put it in park or put it in reverse and try to get the car to move, put it back in drive. It won't move, and I'll turn off the car and start it again, and then I'll put it in drive, and then the car will move.
Dave?
When it won't move, will it take off a little bit, kind of slowly, like it's struggling to get going?
No, it won't move at all. You just accelerate, and it'll just accelerate without it, like if it's in neutral.
Just revs.
Just revs up.
Now, I'm not sure on some of these later Passats, they have that electronic gear shift. I've seen that where it's a manual, but it's an automatic, but it's a manual.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think a car's going into neutral, when you come up to a stop, I think of them being low on fluid. So if you've been seeing any leaks in the driveway...
Yeah, but you know what? He puts it. He shuts the key off, which makes me think we've got an electrical control issue because he kills the key.
I think it goes into a fail-safe mode.
Right.
Is what's happening. And so he's cycling the key and resetting everything, and it goes back to working. So could have a fluid issue. Specifically, the electrical issue doesn't really matter if the car is coming up to a stop. But there's some diagnostic work that needs to go on. So if you're looking for a shop that can take care of that for you, bumpertobumperradio.com. You're going to find a list of great shops, and if it's transmission related, we'd be happy to fix it for you at Tri-City Transmission. So
yeah, in the Volkswagens they have strange problems with sometimes people say they need a transmission. Dave, you fix valve bodies in Volkswagens all the time. Those can be, you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Well, even a bad battery will make a transmission act up, and that's weird. We sell batteries. People come in, they're like, oh, they're gun shy when they get there. They think they're buying something really expensive, and we sell them a battery, and they're like, that's it. That's it.
Really
Happens
bad
all
news
the time.
for you. You need a battery.
So anyway, thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks, Bree, for running the dials. If you're looking for a good, honest, competent shop to start a relationship with for all your budgeting, bumpertobumperradio.com. We'll see you next week. Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life in performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com. TriCityTransmission.com.
Hi, I'm Scott, General Manager with Whitey's Auto Repair here in South Scottsdale. We built a reputation for quality auto service and repair for over 45 years, and our customers have come to trust us for our recommendations. We value that trust, and that's why when it comes to transmissions, for the past several decades, we have been recommending Tri-City Transmission. They have yet to disappoint. I feel so strongly about it, I wouldn't go anywhere else. Why would you? Google them online today at TriCityTransmission.com. Go where the pros go. Tri-City Transmission.
Summer's winding down, Dave. It's back to school.
Yep. Check out my new Scooby-Doo lunchbox, Matt. Cool, huh?
Yeah, nice, Shaggy. And did you write your What My Car Did for Summer essay?
What? Is that due?
Join us Saturdays, 11 to noon, for Bumper to Bumper Radio on News Talk 92.3 KTAR.
And for the best car repair and body shops you can trust, it's bumpertobumperradio.com. Drive in anxious, cruise out feeling fine with Bumper to Bumper Radio.